legislations on waste disposal into waters and land. 2 is by ensuring that people do not, fish with chemicals that are harmful to aquatic lives, like gamalin 20. Another way is by making or providing public utilities for people in order to avoid defecation inside the water or into the water. And also there should be legislation on the use of water bodies. So now let us look at agriculture in Nigeria. Now, agriculture is the art of cultivating crops and rearing of animals for man's use. In Nigeria, there are types of agriculture practiced, and we have one, the mechanized agriculture. The mechanized agriculture is also called plantation agriculture. It requires commercial or large quantity cultivation of crops or products. The products are mainly for sale, and it involves cultivation of one crop, that is monocropping. It also requires a large area of land, large capital, and large labor. It involves cultivation of perennial crops like cocoa, rubber, oil, and palm, etc. Another type of agriculture practiced in Nigeria is the subsistence farming or subsistence agriculture. Subsistence agriculture has to do with a type of agriculture where the produce are mainly for family consumption, and it requires a small land area, few laborers, which are mainly family members, and small capital. Many crops are usually grown at a time. That is what we call mixed cropping. And food crops like maize, cassava, yam, vegetables are mainly grown when it has to do with subsistence farming or subsistence agriculture. And it uses some simple tools or crude tools like hoe, cutlasses, etc. Let's look at mixed farming. Mixed farming involves the cultivation of crops and the rearing of animals on the same piece of land. The crops grown are mainly maize, rice, cassava, etc., while the animal reared are cattle, sheep, goats, and poultry. This type of agriculture requires small area of land with an intensive cultivation. Now, part of the crops produced can be used to feed the animals, while the animal dungs or droppings are used as manure for the plants. Another type here we have the crop rotation. Crop rotation, has to do with the practice, of farming in a way where it shows that crops are rotated in a sequence year after year, so as to maintain soil fertility. 3 to 5 different crops can be grown on the same piece of land, but on different plots. And this sequence is made such that deep-rooted crops like yam is followed by shallow-rooted crops like maize during the rotation. Number 5 type of agriculture we have here in Nigeria practiced here is the pastoral farming. Pastoral farming mainly is practiced in the savanna belt of the north, and it's also known as nomadic herding. This type of farming or agriculture involves rearing of only animals like cattle, sheep, and goats. It involves constant movement of the cattle from place to place in search of water, pasture, and this is usually done by the herdsmen. Another type of agriculture here is the shifting cultivation. Shifting cultivation here involves the movement of the farmer and his family from one piece of land to another, and this is usually when the former land is no longer fertile. And the farmer uses simple or crude tools to carry out his agronomic activities. And food crops are mainly grown like the maize, cassava, and production is mainly for the consumption of the family. We'll look at now what we call food crops and cash crops. Food crops here refers to crops that are grown to provide food. And these crops they grow and mature within a period of 1 or 2 years. Example, we have the grain crops, which include crops like millet, rice, guinea corn, maize, etc. We also have the tuber and root crops. Example are the yam, the cocoyam, and cassava. Now, note that rice is grown in the middle belt of the country, and this is because we have enough land due to low population density in this area, and there is a conducive climatic condition that favors the growth of rice in this area. And also we have abundance of swampy areas along the river valleys. So let's consider cash crops. Cash crops here are those crops grown for sale in order to provide money for either the individual involved or for the government. And they include crops like cocoa, cola, rubber, oil palm, groundnut, cotton, and berry seed. Agriculture is of immense importance to any given economy or country. And as a result of this, we'll be looking at some few importance of agriculture. One, agriculture provides food for man. Agriculture provides food for man in terms of the animals, the yams, the cocoa, varieties. It provides food for man, and you can name all the types of food you can gain from agricultural activities. Now there is provision of employment. In any country where agriculture is lacking, there may be a serious problem of unemployment in that country. Now, agriculture has proven to, have employed more than half of the people of a country. Now, agriculture has made it possible for people who are direct farmers to be employed, people who are, those responsible for turning the produce into other products to be employed, and also made industries, to have raw materials, and with this, more people are employed, more hands are employed, more labor is employed to, engage in production activities in the industries. Now, agriculture also has served as a source of income to the farmers, to the government as well, and provision of raw materials as well for industries. Foreign exchange earning also, when these cash crops are exported to other countries, the government earns, for the benefit from the income that this produce, will bring about. And there's provision of clothing and shelter. Cotton, which is helpful in the making of clothes, is made available as a result of agricultural activities. And shelter also is made available as a result of agricultural activities. Now let's look at some problems of agriculture in Nigeria. Why is agriculture not progressing steadily the way it should? And why is agriculture not carried the way it should be carried in order to bring about the needed change in Nigeria. One problem of agriculture in Nigeria is that there is lack of finance or credit facilities. Some farmers who may not have the money to engage in large-scale farming that will feed the nation to a great extent, are discouraged because there is no readily accessed finance or credit facilities for them. So this is also a problem. Now there is poor transportation facilities or network within the country. Some farmers find it so difficult to transport their produce from the farm to places where they are bought or to places where they are being processed, used as raw materials and processed into other products. And in other cases, while transporting this produce from the farm, because of the bad transportation facilities, these goods, some of them are perishable, so they will get spoiled before they arrive where they should have been needed. And there's lack of storage and processing facilities. Some of the produce in this country, agricultural produce in this country, have been left to go bad because we don't have adequate and proper storage facilities where these could be stored for years, for months before they are being processed. So these are all problems facing agriculture in Nigeria. And we also have the use of crude tool, poor power supply. This is a very serious problem facing agricultural practices in Nigeria. Power supply. This particular problem does not affect agriculture alone, but affect virtually every sector in the country. The people also have a negative attitude toward farming. So persons look at farmers as people who are so unfortunate. So this mentality has also crippled the progress of agricultural practices.